First story. Entitled parents who neglected me for my golden child sister, supported sister cheating with my boyfriend, contacted me after 9 years of NC. Then confused me with my friend, forgetting how I look, demanded my money for my sister's lost business, and my kidney for my entitled father. I just laughed at their misery, gave them an ultimatum, and left. Somebody suggested I share my story here and not feel guilty. I, as a child, was always neglected by my parents for my brilliant sister. I guess I was the accidental baby or the unwanted one. My sister was the diamond child. If people could buy stars, my parents would have bought her that too. As for me, I was her recycle bin. And she was horrible to me. My parents never bought me any new clothes. I had to wear her tomboyish grunge clothes, which I hated. Whenever my sister wanted something, my parents would turn to Jeannie. But if I asked something, then Lord have mercy. So I had to pick up some small work, like walking a dog, cleaning the backyards of my neighbors so that I could buy some clothes of my choice. She was a pick-me girl, so she never made a genuine connection or had any friends. So no one invited her to a sleep gathering. But fortunately, I made some really good friends, and they knew about my situation. My parents would try to force me to take her with me whenever I was invited to any gathering. And she would always try to hit on my friends' brothers. For the sake of my friendship, I stopped going on these sleepovers. As much as I hated her, God seemed to favor her because she was very talented in her studies. I was average. I was not the failed type, but not the topper type, whereas my sister was a 4 GPA type of student. Every holiday my parents would take my sister on vacation, but would exclude me. The last straw was when my sister kissed my boyfriend, and my parents took her side and let them date. So even after these, when my family had some financial problems, they thought it would be great to have me sacrifice my old private school and enroll me in public. But no, their diamond daughter would stay at the private school. I was never given any allowance, but my sister was given $2,000 per month. They gave her a Mac for Christmas, and I got a glitter pen. Of course, I didn't have any college funds at all, and I wanted to move out as soon as possible. So as the stupid and rebellious I was, I got a sugar daddy. I don't regret it because I wanted someone to care for me and, fund me. It was a mutual thing, and he was not married or anything. He was just old, and I was 18. That's it. So fast forward. I cut family off. They never tried to reach out to me. I heard my sister got married from my friend, and yes, I wasn't invited. After mooching off my sugar daddy, we started dating, and I stopped spending his money after I got a job. And we are planning to tie the knot. So, story. I got a random call in the morning, and surprisingly, that bounce matched my ugly baby sister. I wanted to cut off the call, but I wanted to hear what she had to say now. First, she started talking about her family, which didn't interest me at all. Then she went to straight business and asked me for money and told me how my ex-family was suffering. They invested in this business, and they got a huge loss. I laughed and asked her if she thought I would help her after 9 years of no contact. I do not even care if she dies or lives on the streets. That's not my problem. After that, I hung up the call. After an hour, my phone starts to be bombarded by unknown messages from my parents and their relatives calling me ungrateful and an arsehole. Honestly, I may be an arsehole, but I didn't understand the ungrateful part. They are now demanding I help them, as they are now practically on the streets, and my father has a failed kidney, so as a daughter I should help him. Don't get me wrong. I am not that heartless, but after 9 years of them ignoring my existence, they demand money instead of asking me about myself. They don't even know if I have the money or not, but they just straight up demand it. I am going to meet them this coming Sunday, but I have no interest in helping anyone. I am happy about their misery, and I am going to meet them so that I can see the look of misery on their faces. I'm sorry for any spelling mistakes. As I'm writing, suddenly I'm having a rage moment because I remember all the horrible things from the past. Update. Thank you, guys, so much for the love and support. I was feeling quite ashamed to post this, to be honest. I felt like all these dramatic things happened to me only. As I scrolled down the Reddit, I found other people like me even worse. Just like me, other people were also excluded from their childhood love. If you have a nice, loving family, then folks, you won in life. And if you are a parent and you have 2 kids, please don't ever love one kid more and another less. So as for the update, I did go to meet my parents, and I would be lying if I hadn't hoped to reconcile with them. I want to have kids, and I want to have my kids have nice grandparents. My boyfriend fiancé also doesn't have any family. He grew up in an orphanage. But he is successful, And yes, he is the knight in shining armor for me. The only good thing that God gave me. So he also never got the chance to have his parents love me, unlike mine, who were alive and still dead to me. I took on some advice, and I thought to meet them with my friend. I didn't take my fiancé because, yes, I am still insecure about my sister. I know for a fact that my fiancé loves me more because he has been my backbone and support system. But you know the old wounds. My colleague, and also my best friend, and I decided to meet my parents at the local restaurant near their place. Many things were rushing into my heart and my mind. I'm sorry, people, but in my heart, I kind of wanted the warmth of my family. I thought if I helped them, maybe finally they would see me as a daughter. They loved my sister because she was a topper. Maybe they would love me now because I am also reasonable. Well, big mistake for me to even think like that. Me and my friend. We have the same hair color, grayish-white. As we reached the restaurant, a local diner, I saw my parents rush toward us, but they rushed toward my friend, hugged her and asked her how she was and how skinny she looked. My friend tried to clarify the air, but I gave her the look not to do that. It broke my heart. I knew my parents didn't love me, but did they even see me as their daughter? How can a father and mother forget their own child's face? I wish I was buffling while I write this. But when you finally realize that you meant nothing to your family, it does hurt badly. As we sit at their reservation, I didn't see my sister. My ex-dad and mother with my old aunt just started to ask my friends about life, marriage, and everything. Did they not even see my picture on the family album to forget my face like this? Well, cut to bias. I hear my sister's voice. She approached us. I was hoping for her to forget my face like my family, but I guess she didn't. When my parents pointed out how skinny my friend had become, my sister gave an awkward smile and told my parents that I was their daughter. I was holding back my tears. They apologized and started saying that they didn't think I would be so pretty and bouncy. I had enough, but I wanted to hear what they wanted. My sister looked like a mess. She was not the beautiful sister anymore. That made me feel relief. After a while of trying to make up and butter me, my father asked me about my free time and told me how important it is that I have some free time for the test. What test? That was my reply. Then my sister replied, Dad has kidney failure. He should have been in the hospital, but he is here to meet you. To be a potential kidney donor, you need to have tests done. It's urine, blood, and radiology? Geez, you're still dumb. She smirks with that ugly face of hers. My friend just gave me the what in the F is this? Look. Then my mother continued. Why even take other people's kidneys when we have family? Family means helping each other, isn't it? Yes, and please give us the $75K this last month. $75K. They wanted $75K from me. You know I had enough. Who the F asks $75K? Like, who asks for $75K? My fiancé may be rich, but hell no, even I do ask him that much. People at this point, I hope I was extracting. Even my friend looked shocked and ugh, but my friend had enough from my side. How about you sell your other kidney and get the $75K from yourself, ma'am? And sir, what family? You should take your brilliant oldest B daughter's kidney, when you have always favored her instead of Stella. I thought this was a joke when Stella was talking about the mistreatment she has endured from you. But OMG, you guys are so bad. Then she claimed you to be. My sister tried to come in, but I also had enough and stood up. I have $75K, but I will not give it to you people. You should have asked your diamond daughter, whom you always used to give $2K as an allowance, and what family. If I was facing the same thing, you guys would have helped me. My father shouted and called me names about how ungrateful I became. To which I replied, tell me one grateful thing he has ever done for me. I was never given pocket money. I was excluded from a family trip. I was never given any Christmas gift. My boyfriend and my sister kissed, and you guys let them date. 9 years of ignorance, and now you guys remember me. At last, while I was leaving, I turned to ask my aunt, who was silent. Auntie, why do you even not love me, like my parents? I left after that. I cried when my friend was driving me home. I felt sad. It hurt because it was real, and it happened to me. And it has been happening to me. I once in my life wanted love. But kidney $75K. That's what my family wanted from me. They just demanded, they didn't even know if I had money. They just demanded, yes, give us money. In the end, my family just wasn't my family. After I went home, I hugged my fiancé and told him everything that happened. He embraced me in a long hug. I did get calls and everything from my parents, but I blocked them all. Some of my cousins texted sorry too. I guess Auntie must have told them everything. But it doesn't matter anymore. I don't want any contact with anyone other than my fiancé and my friends. My fiancé took me shopping to cheer me up, and I just lay on the bed after all this, reading the sorry to W messages sent to me. I was deleting and blocking everything. Who gave my number to these people is the only question I forgot to ask my parents. I am thinking about changing my number. I see a message from John, my ex. After long of self-cursing, I opened it up, and he said sorry in the text. He also added that I was and still am an amazing person, and also added that there was no way in hell these people were my parents, and I should never help them. Funny as dramatic as it sounds, I am thinking about the possibility too. But why would my ex-father ask me for a test check if I wasn't their daughter? But judging by the way I am treated, am I their daughter? Well, my fiancé is taking me to Paris this weekend, and I don't want to think about anything else. No one matters to me except for him. I may try to search for my real parents, but I do not know if I would do that. My life already looks like a soap opera, and I hope it made you laugh because it does sometimes make me laugh. Bye, and thank you so much. I will write a final update after my vacation, but I don't think I will write any more longer. I hope to close this chapter in my life. Well, guess I wasn't loved by anyone, and honestly, it's okay. It really is okay now. I will have kids, and I will love them and do a great job of being a parent. So yeah, we are going to Paris. And maybe I wish to not have a chance to update, because I no longer want to associate with this soap opera. I feel like my ex has just written those text messages because he is stupid. I know that you use Reddit, so yeah, if you think you will be together with me, that's a shame because I never in my life thought about you. So piss off. Sorry folks, I don't know how to use Reddit. Warning. Loser if you think I'll even talk to you in the message by Reddit. You're delusional. You should be happy that I didn't use your full name, and now go for yourself. Don't make me blast you and everyone on social media. I also have an alternate to TikTok after all this SHT. I will blast everyone, so beware because I'm trying to close this chapter. And do this and send this to everyone. Because if I see one more message and call, I will not be updating this on Reddit, but on Instagram, TikTok, you named it. So please back up when I'm in the right mind. Because I can be petty. Amen. Second story. My witch of a mother cheated on my dad with his brother and destroyed my whole family. Now she drunkenly contacted me, saying she is regretting everything. It was a mistake, and that my dad is the love of her life and wants to reconcile with him on his wedding day. Should I expose her to my ex-uncle stepdad and wreak her life like she did to us? My mom 45F and dad 46M got divorced when I 22F was 14. Their marriage ended because my mom had cheated on my dad with my uncle's brother. It was chaos. My uncle was pretty much disowned by the entire family. They got married and had my cousin brother 5M. I do not talk to my mom that often. I do not express it, but I loathe her for destroying 2 homes because she had to be a cheater. I lived with my dad mostly. He is an amazing dad and always prioritized me, unlike my mother, who settled outside of the town with her new family. So since then it has been me and my dad. 3 years ago, he started dating Sarah 40F, who was the little sister of his close friend. Sarah always had a crush on dad, but she moved away for college. Recently, she has opened a business in our town. I love Sarah. She is an incredible human. She is now pregnant with my little sister or brother. I have noticed how happy my dad has become since he started dating Sarah. I would say even more than he was happy with mom. Their marriage wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Probably because of my mom's partying habits. They lived as a civil union till now, but dad and Sarah decided it was best they get married soon because a new baby is on the way. My grandfather wanted a big ceremony for this, so we have been busy with the wedding preparations. Suddenly, I get a voicemail from my mom. It is weird because, even though we talk on the phone, she never sent me voicemail. I played it, and it was addressed to my dad. She was drunk and was crying the entire time. She said that she made a mistake and to forgive her. She never meant to sleep with my uncle, and she only did it because she was angry with him. She is not happy with uncle because she always has my dad in her mind. She named her son the name my dad picked when he said what name he would choose if he had a son. I realized this must be a mistake, because my dad's name and mine start with the same alphabet. Or maybe she was so drunk that she accidentally sent the voicemail to me. I played it to my dad. He looked angry at first, but then looked disappointed. I asked him what he wanted me to do. He said that I should delete it. I was confused. He further explained that my mom is in the past now. She has her own family. If this voicemail gets leaked, she could lose the only people who are with her right now. and he doesn't want to create tension in her life by exposing her. She already had her fair share of insults from the family and friends since her affair was exposed. Also, they have a child, and it will be traumatizing for him too. But I think that my uncle needs to know what my mom is up to now. So, should I share this voicemail with my uncle, who is unfortunately my stepdad, or should I listen to my dad? Notable comments. Deleted. This is a tough one. Does your uncle deserve to know what his wife really thinks, or do you let them wallow around in the misery they created for themselves? What would be the impact of telling him? It would probably hurt him, create the probability of divorce, and break up a family that has a 5-year-old. If it wasn't for the 5-year-old, I'd say go nuclear. They both deserve it and each other. But turning a 5-year-old's life upside down is rough. Honestly, even if I do not, it will explode. My mom uses cheating as a coping mechanism. Something my older cousin told me. She has cheated on my dad multiple times. Affair with my uncle was the last straw for dad. I won't be surprised if she is already cheating. Deleted. If this is something she did in the past, not something she is currently doing, I'd be inclined to drop it. Well, my mom had multiple affairs before this affair with my uncle. This was the last straw for my dad. My dad tried to make things work with my mom before for me. They were able to reconcile before the final affair. Adventurous Row 2085. Your uncle deserves to know that the pos he married is being a pos to him. Also, are you sure that your dad is your biological dad? Yes, my dad did a paternity test when I was 7 when my mom cheated on him with a random dude. Just for me, he decided to stay and work things out. Plus, people always say I look like my dad a lot. So I have no doubt he is my biological dad. Update. Hello guys, I wanted to give an update for my previous post. I took your advice and deleted it. I know it will not do anyone any good. My dad did say he would talk to Sarah about it, so I stayed out of it. The next day, my mom called me to say she was sorry. She was drunk out of her arse and was spewing nonsense. She asked me if my dad listened to it. I said yes, but he told me to delete it. I also told her firmly that she should stop acting like a teenager when she is a mother of 2 kids. Did she really think her little stunt would work? I told her it was her decision to cheat and leave dad. She doesn't deserve a pity party after my dad has moved on. She said she understood and thanked me for deleting the messages. I thought that was it. The problem is gone, and we can move on. But it was short-lived. Today we were having lunch. The whole family was with us, including our grandparents. My uncle's stepdad came screaming, demanding to see my dad. My mom was with him, trying to get him out of our property. When my dad came out, he literally jumped on dad, telling him he was a homewrecker, calling him all sorts of names. Apparently he found the voicemail on her phone. Not just that he found several voice notes of her drunken confession that she still loves dad and hopes they can work this out. This turned ugly real quick. My uncle's stepdad was not having it and said that he has no right to break his family. He is already the reason why my uncle is disowned by the family. My dad, who always stays calm, raised his voice, saying he has no interest in him or his wife. Uncle also accused him of paternity fraud, saying his kid is not his, but actually belonged to my dad because he is sure that my dad and mom had an affair 5 years ago, which resulted in my brother. My mom was saying this is not true. My dad told him he is happy to do a paternity test if that gets him off his back. He wants nothing to do with him or his wife. My other uncles kicked both of them out. My stepdad uncle threatened to take my dad to court and sue for child support. Well, this whole thing upset Sarah. She thought it was really disrespectful, and she wants some peace. She has no energy to deal with these shenanigans. I get that. My dad is willing to make it up to her. I am sure she doesn't believe a word my uncle said. My dad is pissed. There was a family discussion where they said, "That witch has ruined more than 2 lives." I am really ashamed of my mom. I cannot believe I am related to her. I sometimes wish she wasn't my mom. I have blocked her. I only kept in contact because of my brother, but not anymore. Edit. I think I should clear it out that she sent me the message from a messaging app. I forgot that most people think a voice message and a voicemail are different. But I always thought they were the same. Just on a different platform. I call every voice message a voicemail. Maybe I should have cleared that out earlier. Notable comments. Realistic Slice, 7639. So your uncle stepdad accused your dad of being a homewrecker when uncle stepdad was the initial homewrecker with your mom. Wow. Uncle stepdad has bigger problems. So sorry about the chaos in your family. You know what's even more insane? My dad was out of the country for a vacation with his buddies 5 years ago when my mom got pregnant. There is no way he is the father. Also, dad can't stand to look at mom. Realistic slice, 7,639. Well, maybe if Uncle Stepdad demands the court proceedings for paternity, it'll prove what everyone already knows, and then all ties may be severed. I hope that you may be able to have some kind of relationship with your brother someday. He is also innocent in this mess. OP. It stinks that he is in the middle of all of this. 0 Utendab 0 at 1. Did anyone call him out on that? That he was the homewrecker? My dad did. My stepdad uncle said, "Get over it. She is not your wife anymore. She is mine now, and you are ruining it." Rashilla. I get you not liking your mom, but the entire group is being incredibly unfair, blaming her for the entire thing, as if your uncle isn't a giant trash bag himself. OP. He gets blamed a lot though. But she is hated more, because she has a history of cheating. I don't know. Boning your brother's wife, while your brother and sister-in-law are still married is pretty damn awful. It looks equal from here, is all I'm saying. He is disowned though. He is not allowed in our house. My other uncles also don't talk to him. The whole, that witch has ruined 2 lives, takes the blame off of him and steeps it in more misogyny. They are both at fault, is all I'm saying. But it looks like from your post that the family just wants to blame your mom. Listen, my family is far from misogynistic. And mom is an outsider. Someone who married into the family. And my uncle was their own flesh and blood. So, they subconsciously think my mom takes more blame than my uncle. If they really were misogynists, they wouldn't have disowned uncle. Don't read too much into it. Update. I don't know if this qualifies as an update, but here it goes. I think the moderators would get tired of the updates because I keep learning more and more stuff about the messed up dynamics of my family. Maybe I will make one final update when things settle. But this is more of a rant about what happened today. Today I was supposed to take my little brother out for a carnival in our town. He was excited. I promised to take him. But due to recent events, I have been doubting my decision. I asked my dad for his car because mine was broken so I could take my little brother. I know there is a lot of tension, but a promise is a promise. My dad warned me that my mom could use my brother to manipulate me. I kept that in mind and called in advance that I am taking my brother in 15 minutes and to have him ready. I arrived at her place, and my brother was nowhere to be seen. I called my mom. She says he is still getting ready. I was frustrated because I told her earlier to get him ready. Anyway, I just went inside the house. My uncle was not there. He told my cousin that he was going to take a paternity test of him and my brother so that he knows what the next step is. My mother saw me and tried to hug me. I just stopped her. I was not in the mood. She asked me to sit in the living room and wait for my brother. At first she tried to make small talks with me, but when I refused to reciprocate, she told me, "Okay, I get it that you are mad at me, but I do not deserve to be punished. I know calling your dad was a mistake, but you have to know that I still love him. He is the love of my life." I needed to get all of that out of my system, so my therapist suggested I start journaling, but voice recordings work best. I called her out on her bullshit. If she really loved dad, she wouldn't have had an affair with his own brother. She cannot love anyone but herself. She tried to explain, moan, and cry, and even went on a feminist rant. Oh, you don't know how hard it was for me as a woman. I was always shamed for my sexual liberation. You have any idea how much hypocrisy a woman has to face if she wants to explore sexually? As a feminist, I took it as an offense that she used political movements to justify her cheating. I told her I was not interested in listening to her rant. She can be a sexually liberated woman as she wants, but she has no right to hurt people for her own selfish needs. She never even thought about us or her son when she was on the verge of destroying another family. I called her an empty shell of a woman before my brother came downstairs. I was so angry and frustrated. What kind of woman talks like that to her own child? I took my brother to the carnival and tried to keep my mind off mom. I realized I need to stay away from her until this matter is resolved. I told my brother that for a few days I might not be able to visit, but he is free to call me. I feel bad for him. I went through the painful period when my parents divorced. I know how that feels when your own family betrays you. I was in a position that I had to choose between my 2 parents. I hope something good comes up. Notable comments. 1. It sounds like she needs more than therapy. Why on earth would she say, "Oh, you don't know how hard it was for me as a woman," when you clearly do? I was just paraphrasing what she said. She went on a rant on how she was shamed as a child for being sexually active. And she said something along the lines, "I don't know how hard it was for her as a woman during that time when women were scrutinized. I am lucky people are more accepting. Don't blame me. I was 90% zoned out when she was ranting." Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.